welcome to Jan's views on crime, Jay Slater, red herrings, cover-ups and distractions. Guys, for those of you that have been following this case for as long as I have, which is like, 7 months, 8 months, you will notice that a lot of it is red herrings being thrown hither and thither, and conspiracies, cover-ups, distractions. Are we ever going to find out the truth about what happened to Jay Slater? And in the same way, are we ever going to keep quiet about it? I'm not. I'm always going to be thinking about it. I'm always going to be talking about it. I'm always going to be coming onto my channel and updating you as much as I can. I realize that a lot of you probably come from the channels that I get my information from, and that's fine. I don't have any objection to that. But what I cannot understand, and what I am beginning to address, is why are so many people turning on creators when all creators are doing is sharing their opinions about what's going on? It's not difficult, guys. So I've noticed that lately Wax has been talking about the watch. The watch. This is something that we all learnt about very early on, and I do wonder actually whether the watch story is actually a red herring. Because while everyone was like thinking, oh, or maybe, that's what happened. Maybe he got killed because of the watch. I mean, I think it runs a lot deeper than that, guys. And I think the proof is in the pudding. So 9 days ago, Wax has asked, this stolen Rolex contradiction could give motive for Jay Slater's death. And then I think he's done another one. Let's see if we can find it. A more recent one where he's also talking about the watch. And let's find it. Did Spanish police cover up stolen Rolex brawl? So apparently there's a big punch up outside about the watch. Is this when whatever happened to Jay happened when he was in the bar? I think it is. And I think it's quite probable that they sneaked Jay out the back. That's what I think. Or maybe he came out the front, but there was this big ruckus going on outside and nobody noticed that he'd been knocked out or whatever. So, yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you think that the watch story is actually a red herring? What do you think, guys?
In fact, we could potentially say this is when the cover-up started. Now, the first thing is the police investigation into the fight that broke out after the event, an alleged fight published by the media over in Tenerife as well as here in the UK. It told us that a fight had broke out just before Jay had got into this car and went to the mountains with Ayub and Rocky. Now, what those reports tell us is that the police investigated that fight. So when have you ever heard of an investigation, a police investigation, not getting to a conclusion? Imagine.
Excellent point. Wax makes such an excellent point. So if the police investigated the punch-up or the brawl, whatever you want to call it, where are the findings to that? Was anybody arrested? I mean, yeah, that's a really, really good point. What do you think, guys? Have you heard anything? What happened? Was it, obviously, I assume it was in the local papers. So if there's an investigation, there's a big punch up outside a nightclub, then normally we would be told what happened. What happened to the people who was arrested in all this? But nobody seems to have been arrested for the punch up. So that's why we're saying, or we're asking, was it a cover-up?
Imagine investigating a situation that has taken place but not getting to the bottom of it. What happened in that brawl outside the NRG festival? According to the media and according to what's being said in Tenerife, the police investigated that situation. Well, what was the conclusion? what happened. There's usually information in regards to what the police believe happened when they investigated that matter. But for some reason, this investigation into this fight that broke out outside NRG Festival, no word of it. Even though allegedly a £30,000 watch had been stolen leading up to that brawl taking place.
It all makes sense. Why does it all make sense to those of us that really care about Jay Slater? And yet other people are just trying to whitewash it. No, they've got their paintbrushes out, dipped it in white paint, and they're just wiping it all over. I mean, it just all makes sense to us, doesn't it?
Telling me there's no update in regards to the fight that broke out that evening that potentially left people injured, even worse, dead. Also got to remember that it was alleged that the webcam footage and CCTV evidence of what was going on the beach outside the NRG Festival was removed that day. Now, I'm not saying it was purposely removed, but the local authorities investigated the fight that broke out outside the nightclub shortly before Jay disappeared, and the CCTV from those moments magically disappeared. Because it's that type of footage that the police would have had to have looked through in order to determine what happens that evening. Who started the fight, how the fight broke out. They would have had to look at that if they were investigating that fight. But all of a sudden, that fight gets investigated, the CCTV goes missing, and there's no conclusion as to what happened that evening.
I've heard people say that the reason the watch is instrumental in the disappearance and the ultimate demise of Jay Slater was because he cocked it up, basically. He stole the watch, or somebody else stole the watch and gave it to him, and it all went tits up, for want of another saying. So, is the watch really that instrumental? Well, again, as I say, is it a red herring? I don't know. I think it is. I think something happened as regards the watch, and maybe that's why Jay went in the cab. Do you believe the Masker story?
The second thing, the media told us whoever's watch got robbed that night was an Eastern European. That person reported the watch stolen. So if the person reported the watch stolen, that means there must be a report on file. So that means the police must know who the person is, what actually happened, if they got their watch back, if the perpetrators were caught. I mean, the police would know all of that information. See, the police have all of that information, but have they released anything in regards to that situation? No. Do we even know if that report is official? No. Mark Williams Thomas wasn't able to verify the report. The media wasn't able to verify the report. So how do we know that this theft report is even genuine? Or does it
But is the watch the catalyst of what actually happened?
Stole the watch. Now remember what Abe told us. He told us more or less that he was being accused of stealing this watch and then had to link up with the guy the next day, and he's got all of that on video. But the main point is that that watch report wasn't filed. No one can verify if that is a true event that took place, which means if it is a true event that took place, the police covered it up. Police more or less done what they did to Dave Courtney.
The Masker story. I believe that he did get in the cab and he possibly went to Masker, but I don't believe that he went off wandering in the middle of the darkness or whenever it was in the early hours of the morning. I don't believe that.
Cockney geezer. So again, the person whose watch allegedly got stolen has not been identified. Therefore, we can say the stolen watch report wasn't reported, based on the fact that we also have no conclusion as to what happened with that fire outside NRG Festival. Even though the police told us they were investigating it, it means when they did investigate, they realized who was involved and they decided to start covering it up from there. Because all we have thereafter is a cover-up story. People lying, contradictions, people actually avoiding pinpointing their location.
Interesting. So let's skip over to Duncan yet again and see what he's been talking about lately. He's still out here fighting with all the naysayers. Why? Listen, when a news story breaks, do you get BBC fighting with ITV News and calling them all the names under the sun and calling them liars and saying, no, what you're saying is rubbish and we're going to come and dox you. We're going to be... It doesn't happen. So why is it happening on YouTube? It's just nuts, guys. So here we've got Duncan, who more often than not is on here just fighting now with the other people, the people that we know we're all very skeptical about because of what they're saying and how they're trying to portray what actually happened. And so of course my first thoughts were, who is this luggy dude? Who is he? And I thought, should I be running for the hills? Or is that just asking for trouble? I don't know. What do you think, guys? Write it in the comment section. I mean, should I be scared of this individual, even though he can't spell? I mean, I suppose he could still be dangerous, couldn't he? And to, you know, paint this narrative. And poor Duncan is kind of stuck in this situation now where, despite giving excellent information and receipts to boot, he's having to spend his time coming for or coming back or pushing back to the naysayers. In this one, 6 hours ago, he's pushing back to the naysayers about Lucy's stay at Pension Player. Just prove me wrong. Listen, you can't prove Duncan wrong because more often than not, he's right. It's been proved. It's been proved that the blanket that we saw in that video that Jay supposedly took was the same blanket that was in her hotel room. It's been proved. So I do feel for Duncan. I feel that he's just having to maybe go a little bit off track, but I think he can deal with it. He's got a good sense of humor. He's an intelligent guy. So yeah, you just keep at it, Duncan, because it's just ridiculous. And I'm glad to see that his numbers are up on his new channel. And yeah, well done, Dunks. And also here, like 21 hours ago, take 2. Receipts from Egypt trip. Back home. Is Ayub still in Egypt or in Barking? Listen, I know the Barking area. I actually went to college over that way. Yeah, I do. I know it. I kind of feel sorry for Duncan that he's now embroiled in trying to sort of prove to people or prove to the naysayers, because the thing is, we all know Duncan is a good guy, but he's now having to prove everything. Like, he's got receipts from his Egypt trip. Seriously, he shouldn't have to be doing that. He should be focusing on getting, you know, on finding out what actually happened. But hey, each to their own, and he does it in a very entertaining way. So yeah, you keep at it, Dunks. Okay, so another person who's really still getting stuck in, and good for her, she's actually covering the Idaho 4 case, is 1111 True Crime Mama D. Right, her last one 2 days ago. Oh my God, Jay Slater reverse engineering the spoon-fed narrative brings huge revelation. We're always getting these huge revelations. Are we ever going to find out, though? Are we ever going to find out? I don't know. Anyway, they're my 3 favourites. So that's who I'm going to talk about. Why am I looking at those? Right. So that's all I'm going to talk about on this particular one. Wasn't much of an update, I know, but it's the way I do things. It's the way I find out my information, and it's the way I applaud these creators. So well done, guys. I thought I'd show you my face. Thought I'd show you my ugly mush. This is me. Sorry about that. If you had another vision of me. Anyway, thanks so much for clicking on this video. A few things to think about. Definitely a few things to think about, especially regarding what actually started at the very beginning. And did it actually happen in the club? I think it did. And I think the beach footage is most definitely very significant in this case. Anyway, listen, guys, thanks for clicking on. You take care of yourselves out there, because trust me, it's all right in our world. So until the next one, bye-bye for now.